This presentation relates to various statistics concepts, which include correlation, regression, z-scores, and t-tests. Before we start with the various concepts, let me provide you with a brief background about statistics. What is statistics? Statistics involves the study of how to collect, summarize, and interpret data. Statistics is usually used when it is not possible to study each and every member of a subject. It involved a population, which is the complete collection of data that needs to be analyzed. In order to make the study less expensive in terms of time and resources, and more feasible to analyze, a subset of the population is usually used. This is known as the sample. In statistics, we usually are after the study of the parameters. A parameter is a numerical value that indicates something about the entire population being studied. For example, we may want to know the mean, which is the average value of the data. The mean is just one of the various attributes of descriptive statistics. Descriptive statistics, as defined by Bruce Bowerman, is the science of describing the important aspects of a set of measurements. It is the term given to analyze data that helps describe, show, or summarize data in a meaningful way, hoping that patterns might emerge from the data. On this particular slide is a sample data of 12 cars showing each car's respective age and price. A summary of the frequency of age and price is noted. Frequency, known as the mode in descriptive statistics, shows how often the data being analyzed is repeated. For example, the number 6 under age is listed twice, and the number 8 under price is listed 5 times. Descriptive statistics of the age and price of the cars were calculated using a data analysis tool which shows various parameters, such as the median, which is the middle value of the data sample, and as previously mentioned, the mode, which is the most repeated value of the data sample. In this particular sample, the median of the age is 8.5 and the median of the price is 7.8. A box plot is used to display the median. A box plot is a diagram that shows a standardized way of displaying the distribution of data based on the 5-number summary: minimum, first quartile, median, third quartile, and maximum. The mode or frequency of the age and price is also displayed using a dot plot, which is a graphical display of data using dots. A dot plot is a really good way to show relative sizes, such as in this sample data, where it shows how often a car's age or price is listed. We have to remember that descriptive statistics do not allow us to make conclusions beyond the data being analyzed or reach conclusions regarding any hypothesis we might have regarding the population. They are simply a way to describe the data sample. Based on the information provided on this page, we are going to discuss correlation and regression of the data sample. What is correlation? Correlation is a statistical measure that indicates the extent to which two or more variables fluctuate together. The word correlation is made of co, meaning together, and relation. A positive correlation indicates the extent to which those variables increase or decrease in parallel. A negative correlation indicates the extent to which one variable increases as the other decreases. The example on the previous slide shows a negative correlation between the age and price of the cars, where price decreases as the age of the car increases. It is a low negative correlation because the points in the scatter are further away from a straight line. In addition to examining the correlation of the sample, we also want to know the regression analysis of the data. What is regression? Regression is a statistical analysis in which we use observed data to relate a variable of interest, which is called the dependent variable, to one or more independent variables, also known as the real variable of interest. The objective is to build a regression model or prediction equation that can be used to describe, predict, and control the dependent variable on the basis of the independent variables. The line from the previous slide, also known as the line of best fit or the trend line, represents the predicted age of the cars. It gives a general direction that a group of points seems to be heading, either upward or downward. In our sample data, using a scatter plot, it shows the price trending down as the car ages. Now that we learned about correlation and regression, we are moving to another set of sample data to discuss z-scores and t-tests. Z-scores tell us whether a particular score is equal to the mean, below the mean, or above the mean of a bunch of scores. They can also tell us how far or how close a particular score is from the mean. On this slide, we examine the Z-scores of dividend yield between stocks listed on the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE, and the National Association of Securities Dealers Automated Quotation, or the NASDAQ. The dividend yield is determined by dividing the dividend per share over the price per share. The yield is the percentage of a stock's market price a company returns in dividends. For example, a stock that pays an annual dividend rate of $5 and is trading at $100 a share has a yield of 5%. The example has a null hypothesis that there is a difference in average yield between NYSE and NASDAQ, with an alpha of 0.05 or a 95% confidence interval. A p-value helps determine the significance of the results. Hypothesis tests are used to test the validity of a claim that is made about the population. This claim is called the null hypothesis. A small p-value, typically equal or less than 0.05, indicates strong evidence against the null hypothesis, so you reject the null hypothesis. The result of the test shows a p-value of 0.2090. In this particular sample data, since the p-value is greater than the alpha, we fail to reject the null hypothesis. Therefore, the result states that no evidence is found to suggest that there is a difference in average yield is not true, simply stating there is a difference average yield between the two exchanges. Given the same sample data, we are now going to learn about t-test. The t-test is an inferential statistical test that determines whether there is a statistically significant difference between the means in two unrelated groups. T-test is usually used when the sample data is fairly small. In this particular sample, the sample data has a total of 26 stocks. This slide shows the probability that the difference between the samples is due to a sampling error of 0.1397, which is the p-value. The data has 24 degrees of freedom. The value of the t-test produced is 1.528. Taking the p-value to be at equal or less than 0.05 significance level, or a 95% confidence interval, we also conclude similar results as the z-scores, that there is no evidence found to suggest that there is no difference in average yield, or as simply stated, there is a difference average yield between the two exchanges. This concludes this presentation about correlation, regression, z-scores, and t-tests. Additional information can be found in the various references on the next page, which were used to complete this report. Thank you for your time and attention. Have a good day.